Hello class, today is either January 19th or 20th, depending on which class you're in. The essential question is, how do I find the scale factor and missing links? So, your learning intentions, I am learning to find the scale factor of scaled figures and use it to find missing links. So let's start out by defining scale factor. I know we've done this before, but we will keep doing it till it sticks up here permanently. Scale factor is the number you multiply the original length by to get the scaled length. Okay, it's important to remember on similar figures, your angles are congruent. Your corresponding angles are the congruent. Similar is exactly the same shape, but different sizes. So to stay exactly the same shape, your angles must be congruent. Corresponding angles must be congruent. So if you're looking at the formula, remember that from now on, I'm just going to put SF, and that will mean scale factor. So the original length times your scale factor will give you your scaled length. That's simple. So if you got to find your scale factor, you simply take the scaled length and divide it by the original length. So let's take a minute and let's find this. So you match up corresponding sides. Does it matter which ones? No, because you're told they're similar. So if I'm looking at it, I'd take 10 and 20. So the original is 10. 10 times my scale factor will give me 20. Mathematically, you divide both sides by 10. Your brain might have already jumped to the answer. So your scale factor is 2. You match up those corresponding pieces. Okay, so for the next one, we need to know our scale factor. And then we're going to use that scale factor to find missing lengths. We can find the lengths of AB and we can find the length of FE. First thing we do is to find our scale factor. We're starting at 12 centimeters and we end up at 6. Once again, we divide both sides by 12. We end up with the fraction 6 divided by 12. You need to simplify that to 1 over 2. So my original is 13. I'm going to call this X. 13 times my scale factor gives me X. Okay, 1/2 of 13 would be 6.5. Is equal to my x value. Okay, for the next one, this is my y. This is my original length this time. Y times 1/2 is equal to 2.5. Okay, how do you undo multiplying by 1/2? Well, you multiply by the reciprocal. The reciprocal is 2. 2.5 times 2 is 5, so y is equal to 5. Remember, this is in centimeters. Okay, any question about how you put together corresponding sides to find your scale factor? Original times your scale factor equals your scaled length. That's what you do to find your scale factor. So let's look at the next one. We're taking A, B, C, D to this one here. And these letters are really, really hard to see. This is 2.45 times my scale factor is equal to 4.9. So divide both sides by 2.45. And my scale factor ends up as being 2. Use a calculator. Calculators make lives easier at this age, at this point in your mathematical career. You want to use a calculator because you want to get used to it. You want to get used to it so you can do better on the tested exams that you will take that have time limits, like the ACT, PSAT, or the AccuPlacer, the ASVAB for the services. Those are all tests that it is very handy to use a calculator on. Okay, if we're going to go backwards, these two numbers switch around. If you notice, what do you notice about the two scale factors? Think about what's going to happen. We've taken this and we've flipped it upside down. When we flip an fraction upside down, what do we call them? They're called reciprocals. Okay, now, part of my training you is to get you used to using your calculator. So, 2.45 divided by 4.9, enter. I've got 0.5. I need to change it into a fraction because they're asking for a fraction. Math button. I'm going to change it into a fraction. I hit enter, enter. The fraction is 1/2, which is what I have here. Those are reciprocals. Okay, take a minute. If you're still struggling with the concept, back up and listen again, because this is what we're going to be working on for quite a while. Okay, now word problems. Everybody loves their word problems. Daryl measured a house and its lot and made a scale drawing. If you become an architect, this is what you would do. He used a scale of 5 inches is equal to 3 feet. So if the backyard is 65 inches wide in the drawing, how big is the actual yard? So for our scale factor, 5 inches over 3 feet. Now to scale the length, we use that 5 over 3. Okay, where does the 65 inches go? Okay, stop and think. This is inches. This is inches. They've got to pair up. They've got to match up. Okay, take a minute and look at how they match up. Now we're going to do the cross multiplication. I want you to get faster at it. So you multiply at the diagonal, and when you go up or down, you divide. So this is 65 times 3 divided by 5. Okay, I think I've got it underneath this one. I know I saw it just a second ago. And you end up with 39. And that would be 39 yards. Okay, if you're not comfortable with this, you can do it the old-fashioned way that you were taught. 5 times x is equal to 3 times 65. 5x is equal to 195. Then you divide by 5 and you get 39. Either way you do it, you're going to get the same answer. This way is just a lot quicker, especially if you're taking a time test. Okay, let's do the next one together, and then we'll see if you can do the last two on your own. Haycom drew a scale drawing of a neighborhood park. He used a scale of 5 inches is equal to 2 yards. A soccer field in the park is 130 inches wide in the drawing. How wide is the actual field? So let's set up with our scale factor again. Five inches to 2 yards. So 5 over 2 is equal to, okay, once again, where do the inches go? Inches go to inches, so it will be on top. Once again, how does the math go? You multiply and then divide. 130 times 2 divided by 5. And I get 52. So it is 52 yards. If you're still struggling, still can't quite get it, do your cross multiplication. 5 times x is equal to 2 times 130. 5x is equal to 260. And when you divide it, you get 52. Okay, stop the video, pause the video, read through, highlight the important words, and see if you can solve on your own. After a long hike in the state park, Clayton decides to go relax at the beach. The parking permit he purchased allows him to park at any state beach without paying again. While consulting a map, Clayton notices that the closest state beach is 8 inches away from the park. The map uses a scale of 2 inches is equal to 1 mile. What is the actual distance between the state park and the closest state beach? Okay, so our scale factor. Highlight the important words first. Okay, 2 inches is equal to 1 mile, and it is 8 inches away. So for our scale factor, 2 inches is equal to 1 mile. 2 over 1 is equal to, once again, inches go to inches, 8 over x. Multiply on your diagonal, divide going up or down. 8 times 1 divided by 2. 8 times 1 is 8, divided by 2 is 4, so it is 4 miles away. Okay. 2 times x is equal to 1 times 8. 2x is equal to 8. Divide by 2 and you're done. Pause the video again and try the last one on your own. This time it's in kilometers. Took me a while to remember what the shorthand or the how I put kilometers as a shortened thing. Okay, so pause it now. Okay, on the geographical map, a river running through Lee County is 5 centimeters long. The map uses a scale of 1 centimeter is equal to 13 kilometers. What is the actual distance between the river source and its delta? Scale factor. 1 centimeter is 13 kilometers. Okay, the river is 5 centimeters long. So centimeters go to centimeters, so it will go on top and x. Okay, remember that the river source is where it begins. Its delta is where it actually comes out at. Five times 13 divided by 1. Okay, 5 times 13 divided by 1 is 65. So that would be 65 kilometers, km. If you're still struggling, that's okay, and don't feel comfortable. 1 times x is equal to 13 times 5. So x is equal to 65. This time you're multiplying by 1, so it doesn't do much difference. It doesn't make any difference. So finding scale factor and lengths is what we're doing. Okay, there is a practice in Delta Math. Please get it done.